I mean, in terms of the Premier League, and I've mentioned this on a couple of occasions, I work in the media, so I'm a pundit, and I listen to pundits and before the start of the season, and I'm amazed how many of them go. I don't think anyone is in any doubt, apart from Mourinho, who the other week said there's 4 teams who can win it, which is not the case. There's only two teams who can win. I know he was tongue in cheek with Manchester City's reserves, but Spurs is not at that level. So there's only Liverpool or Manchester City. And then some pundits go, and I expect City to win. I understand why people say I expect City to win it, but then they say I expect them to be more comfortable than last season. And that's when I go, what's that based on? I just don't get that. We're unbeaten in our last 42 home matches in the Premier League. I think we won 13 consecutive Premier League matches last season. We took 97 points and lost 1. So I don't know why people think all of a sudden we're going to go away, because that's not what I'm seeing. We're still a team chasing, and I think there's another chase in this team. I don't know what's going to happen should this team win the league. I don't know whether the club would then feel that it's a time to thank James Milner and Jordan Henderson for what they've done and maybe move on in a set. But this group of players, I think, are ready for one more chance. And I think it's going to be this season. We lost 1 game last year. I wouldn't be amazed if we only lost 1 game again. I think there's more chance that Manchester City is going to lose more games than us. That doesn't mean that we're going to get more points at the end of the season, but I just have a feeling that we will. I always understand that when people say, do a combined team between Liverpool and Manchester City. And some people will have 6 Liverpool players and 5 City, and others will go the other way around. But it's much 50-50, isn't it? The biggest problem is that from player 12 to 25, City are better than us, yeah? They've got better people on the bench, they've got better squad players than what we have. But Klopp almost has this belief in that I just need 11 players. He relies on more or less the same players every now and again. And as much as we go, and last season we get carried away because for such a long time we've been looking for greater quality and a bigger squad, yeah. So when Shaqiri comes and he does really well early on and scores a couple of games, and we're looking, we're going, but still, it's not enough for Klopp, is it? He knows of the quality that is required to keep up with Manchester City. We don't have 20. We only have maybe 12 or 13 of those. So he knows he has to keep going back to those. That's the difference between us and Manchester City. But also, he's surrounded himself with people whose jobs is to keep those players fit. And that's what they do so well. So people keep saying to me, what are we going to do if Salah gets injured? I said, I don't know. I said, but why would he? He never gets injured. We don't have muscle injuries. We have very few injuries. Yes, we have injuries to some of the fringe players, to likes of Keita and whatever, picks up a lot of injuries, whatever. But that's the whole transformation in the way that he now plays football and the way that he trains, isn't it? So Klopp has gone, this is what I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared to relatively gamble on a few number of players. My backroom staff will keep him fit. They will make sure that they recover 48 hours in between matches and whatever. And we'll take our chances, because I know that I can't dip outside my starting 11 too often, because we haven't got the same quality as Manchester City. And as I said before, he came up with a slogan the other day, didn't he? Identity is our intensity, and I think that's about right, isn't it? And it isn't necessarily just about the intensity that we play with, but it's the intensity that I think City know. I don't think City look and go. I think City quietly and privately believe we're going to win every game because of the way that we do things. I think they think there's going to be no let up. There's going to be absolutely no let up from Liverpool whatsoever. So we have to be at our best. And already, and I think we've underestimated. I know people said that at one stage last season we were 10 points clear, although City had a game in hand. But it's 2 points already, and it's massive in it, because they've already now reduced the remainder of the games where they can make a mistake. So, and I look at our next 2 games, and I think it's a great time to play Chelsea while they're still playing a little bit of crazy football, isn't it? But you're going to go to Chelsea, you're going to get chances to score 5 or 6, and I would suggest that when we go to Stamford Bridge, if we score half of the chances we create, we'll win the game. That might change in 6 months' time, so I think it's a good time to play them. So City wanted to come to Anfield in November a few points clear, because the fixture list has been kind to them to start the season, and I think they thought we're going to go to Anfield maybe 2 or 3 points behind, which means in worst case, should we lose, we'll still be there. But if they could go to Anfield behind already, you know. And I think that would change Klopp's thinking massively, knowing that he could open that gap already in November. And then when you don't let up, it's a bit like Mourinho. I think he did it the best with Chelsea when he came back and he led from the front and he gave zero encouragement to the teams that were chasing. There was no encouragement. You never get any closer. Keep at arm's length, yeah. And I just think if we could we didn't manage to do it last year, but I think if we can just open up a gap of 4 or 5 points again and keep them at arm's length, they might, a bit like cricket, they might declare in March and go, listen, we're going to try and do something else here. So it's not because I'm an ex-Liverpool player, an ex-fan. I've seen this before, football clubs, you know, and managed to do this. We've got the best, yeah. I'm not suggesting that we're going to return to being a dominant force for the next 25 years. I'm not even suggesting that should we win the league this year, that we might win it again in the next 5 years. That's not what I'm saying. But I just think that this team, there's something about this team, you know, that they've all decided we won't give up. We won't give up till we've done this. When they've done it, they might have to give up because they've given so much. Because all you ask them to do every year is to give a little bit extra, isn't it? Give us 1 more percent, more 2%. Because that's all we're looking, isn't it? We're only looking to improve by 1% compared to last year. So, and all you're doing is keep asking to give the players more and more and more. Yeah. So last year we had 1 defeat and 7 draws or whatever. So we're just looking for a little bit more in those games, isn't it? But I think it's there because I think it's a sort of a special group of players, and I don't think they've sat down amongst themselves and promised themselves, but I just think inside they all know the role they have to play and what the sacrifices are to do it. Because let's not beat about the bush, you know, the City team we're seeing is amongst the finest teams we've ever seen, you know. So for us to do what we do, it shouldn't be underestimated. We do different. We do things different than City, but we still get them done. And there's no right or wrong, is it? The only thing that matters is points. And I just think that we're going to it's like Rafa Nadal in tennis. He just never gives up. He just keeps going and keeps going. And he'll even overtake Roger Federer, yeah? But in 30 years' time, people will still talk about Roger Federer as the most beautiful tennis player ever, isn't it? But we're the Rafa and Nadal. We ain't going to give up. We're just going to keep coming at you till, in the end, you just can't come anymore.